Oh, good old Greece. The Greek Parliament just voted in a 229 for and only 64 against landslide vote to implement the austerity measures Europe demands to Greece to grant Greece the funds for bailout number 3, so that Greece can then repay European creditors, as opposed to facing up to the pain imminently and suffering through a Greek exit, implicitly giving up their sovereignty and sending their 61% no vote the other day citizens into what will inevitably be even a deeper economic depression. Next headline, next day. Eurogroup agrees to $7 billion bridge loan so Greece can repay Troika. No ELA increase on deck. After already saying in a press release a while back, we don't do bridge loans. Yeah, actually, breaking news. Global stocks jump after Greeks vote themselves into even more austerity. Markets rise, markets rise. Oh, your house is burning down. Markets rise. Oh, the whole stock exchange burned down. Markets rise. Stocks up. European Central Bank preview. Mario Draghi to address Greece, China, reiterate quantitative easing commitment in holding pattern press release. Why is that? First of all, there's been some pretty major rioting, Molotov cocktails, clashes with police all over Greece the last couple days. The European Union, well, the European Central Planners, we should call them, the unelected officials that have forced these unpayable loans down Greece's throat, were quoted as saying just a couple days ago, there's no point in the Greece people holding elections. Referring to, you owe us money, it doesn't matter who you put in power, we're going to see to it that we come to an agreement that we agree to. So it doesn't really matter who you put in office. They pretty much said that. And as you just saw, Parliament voted in a landslide. Yes, we agree to your austerity measures. Again. So bailout number 1, austerity measures kick in, pension cuts kick in, massive firings of public sector workers. Of course, private sector got hit as well. Austerity. Pay back this first bailout. Can't pay that first one back. We need deeper cuts, deeper austerity, bailout number 2. More pain and suffering. Now we're at bailout number 3, which also includes a $7 billion bridge loan, as they called it. Why was it only $7 billion? Well, let's see. We're in the middle of July, so that means the middle of August will be 1 month. The middle of September, is 2 months. So, I wonder if this bridge loan is gonna do just enough to get them to September, when the big crash happens. You see, if the club doesn't want the big crash to happen until a certain time, and in this case September, October, November, and December supposedly, when the fireworks are going to get started, then that means they can't have something not going their way like this. So they're going to do things just like he said, there will never be a bridge loan, we won't do that. They did it. We're not going to come to an agreement with Greece. They did it. You can't sit here and tell me in any way, shape, or form that somebody who needs 3 tranches of bailouts, all compounding against each other. So the first bailout has to be repaid, the second bailout has to be repaid, the third bailout has to be repaid. It's not like they had a first bailout, got into trouble, austerity measures kicked in, all right, we were able to pay all that back, thank God. Some number of years later, got in a little trouble again, financial, okay, bailout number 2, you guys were good on the first one, so you got a good credit rating with us, so to speak. The club will give you another bailout since you paid the first one back, you were good on that one. And then a few more years goes by, they pay the second one off, and then they need a third one. No. That is not how this has been going down. They got a first bailout, couldn't pay it back. Got a second bailout, certainly can't pay that back because now they owe 2 bailout funds back. And now they're going to get a third one. So they can't really pay it back, right? I mean, there's no question they cannot pay it back. The people know this, and the people are saying, why are we the ones who keep having to suffer more austerity, more pension cuts, more problems financially? We're all suffering. Why are we having to deal with this? And then being told we're going to, the same creditors are going to give them $50 billion, out of this third bailout, and somewhere around $25 billion of the $50 billion, which is another fund set aside within the bailout, apparently. And we're going to use, we as in the club, the elite, we are going to use $25 billion of that to deal with privatization, essentially selling off airports, airplanes, more public services, ultimately to leave Greece in a condition it already was in, which is bankrupt. And by the time they say, okay, Greece, you can go bankrupt now, we agree, you can go bankrupt, you don't have to pay the money back, the oligarchs will have already scooped up all of those assets for their private corporations that they're into, and the Greece people will now be paying their electric bill to these private parties, their water bill, sewer bill, airport fee, everything. All of these services that are crucial to any country, they will be paying to the club. And if you haven't checked, the club does not do recessions. The club has shareholders, more club members, and we need to show profits all the time as much as possible. And as you can see, they don't give two craps about the pain and suffering the Greek people are going through right now, because they just threw some more austerity measures down their throats that their parliament voted for. Which also, by the way, goes to show you, once again, there's no left or right parties. It doesn't matter. Politicians will always do what their masters tell them, which you think, well, that's us. We're the people. We're the ones that got them in office, right? You're talking about, no. You are the peasant to them. The peasant voted the master into office. And the master has masters who tell him or her what to do. As they said publicly, it doesn't matter what government you vote in. Doesn't matter. We're going to get the same result. And as they just showed, just a few days after making that bold statement of a sovereign country, it doesn't matter who you elect. We're going to get our way anyways. They voted for it. They did. So, this is the equivalent of someone holding you up, breaking into your house, and telling you it was your fault that they broke into your house, and let that be a lesson to you, to teach you not to leave your window partially locked. And then they go on to tell you how things are going to be from now on. You're going to give me all this money, I'm going to take over your house, and still, while simultaneously running news stories somehow that make it seem like, hey, yeah, this robber he did a good deed. He actually showed them how he could break into their house, so it was an educational move he did, right? All I hear on the news is of the Troika and the ECB, European Union. These guys were the ones that tried to help Greece, and Greece bit off more than it can chew. And I already explained in my video the other day of how they do it with their rating agencies. They degrade your country's rating agency credit ratings so that they can just instantaneously have to pay back more on their bonds. The country does, because the credit rating got hit, so the bond prices, the interest goes up. So essentially all that's doing, that's basically an adjustable rate mortgage for a country. Looks good at first, great rates are good, we can kind of barely sustain this, and then all of a sudden we can't sustain this because the rates increased. Well, how the rates increase? Well, I guess we're a little over indebted as a country, and the 3 third-party rating agencies, you know, they're not part of the club, are they? Yeah, they are. Says that our rating sucks, and we got to pay more now. So nothing changed. Didn't get behind on their payments. Nothing. Just your credit rating sucks all of a sudden. Oh, and you needed a bailout, so that's going to hit you too. It'll be a little more expensive for you. While simultaneously, story after story after story of the big banks rigging the labor market, the bond market, everything have come and gone throughout the last several years. Even local municipalities in America have been pillaged by JP Morgan and Bank of America and Citigroup, all these banks charging extra fees that they weren't allowed to charge. And then what happens? Do they go to jail? Nope. Just pay this fine. Get out of jail free. Oh, and you can't sell bonds to municipalities for 2 years. Okay, well that's come and gone. So they'll get right back into it. Right back into the rigging. They'll get caught a number of years later. They'll get a little slap on the hand, a little spank, a little bad boy. City will struggle to pay its bills during that time frame because they were paying more interest on those bonds than they should have been. They'll be, again, the part of the lawsuit settlement, and the city doesn't have to pay back part of what they thought they owed because it was, you know, fraudulent, so that, you know, it won't matter. So this is what you can look forward to when Papa Bush gave his speech all those years ago about the New World Order and when we're successful and we will be successful. Imagine a world rule of law rules, not the rule of the jungle. Well, if this is the rule of law that I've been seeing and experiencing here lately, I think I might want the rule of the jungle back, because this ain't looking too good. Take care.